Below, it harbors a richness of life rarely seen by the human eye. Above sits one of the world's busiest shipping lanes. Only in Singapore can these two worlds coexist. Sandwiched between container cranes and supertankers, a team sets out to sea on a special mission.
So what we need to do is to set up 2 of the optical sensors all the way in, make sure it didn't come loose along the journey.
Karen Toon is a marine biologist. Today, she and her team are carrying out trials on a new diagnostic instrument called a fluorometer.
What it essentially does is measure something called photosynthetic efficiency of the algae that lives within the coral. It gives us more of an advance warning that something might be going wrong. Corals are keystone animals on the reef. Without the corals, you will not have a coral reef. It's a new instrument, so we're very excited today to test it out. We will have fiber optic sensors that would emit a certain kind of light intensity onto corals that we select. And if we can understand if the corals are doing well within a reef environment, then we can be more confident that the other reef processes will be taken care of. Oh man.
I think the pen machine is a bit too positively buoyant.
Every day you wake up and you go, wow, I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm doing it and it's really amazing. When I first joined NParks, I was told of this exciting project that I will be on, which is the formation of Singapore's first marine park.
For the last 15 months, Karen and her team have been laboring as pioneers of a new underwater frontier at Sisters Islands. They're a pair of islets just 5 kilometers from mainland Singapore. For the National Parks Board, setting up a marine park is not just about aquatic life. Leading the charge is Deputy CEO Dr. Leong Chi Chiu. His team is conducting a terrestrial survey of Sisters Islands to provide a complete overview of its ecosystem.
Okay. This is a morinda. This is a coastal tree. It's well known as noni.
Not very tasty, actually. We do not have a park in our marine area where we can show off Singapore's rich biodiversity. With NParks taking over this island as a marine park, we will actually bring value. We will be able to add the aspect of conservation. We have about 30% of the world's number of species of hard corals. We also have sponges, algae, and so on. These represent a resource that we can actually be pleased with. We take care of our environment very well, in spite of being highly developed.
Once the park is officially open, Karen hopes to showcase to visitors exactly why these islands were chosen.
People don't know what we have because they can't see it. Sisters Island is actually quite a unique place. It has a good diversity of habitats. Just because of its location, it has the potential to serve as a very, very strong, what we call a source reef. So basically an area that can seed other areas.
Sisters Islands is well connected to its neighboring reefs via ocean currents. This allows the marine park to become a vital wellspring of life in Singapore waters. Singapore is the second busiest port on the planet, handling 25% of the world's shipping containers. half the annual global supply of crude oil are moved across these waters.
What's really unique about this marine park, it's really an urban marine park.
Harmonizing economic activity with the natural environment is a constant battle, as marine ecosystems can be fragile and need protection. There are those who are working behind the scenes to keep an eye out.
I'm afraid that one day we may lose all these natural areas, and by being able to keep these memories on photographs, I think that's very meaningful for me.
With her training as a marine scientist, Nio Mei Lin plays an active role in undoing some of the consequences of environmental negligence.
I got interested in marine biology when I was an undergraduate, and it was actually in a module that I did to do a research on giant clams that propelled my interest in marine biology. Over here, we have our latest batch of young juvenile fluted giant clams. They were spawned last May. So these are the largest clams, as you can see here, and as well as the really tiny ones over here.
Giant clams are a food source for predators and scavengers. They also provide shelter for a variety of reef organisms. In addition, Mei Lin's research has shown that giant clams are a critical building block of coral reef ecosystems.
Giant clams are important as reef builders. The two halves of their valves are made up of calcium carbonate material, which is actually the foundation of reef frameworks. At present, our research of the giant clam project looks at reintroducing a locally extinct species, the Tridacna gigas.
If Mei Lin's research is successful, it could bolster the marine park's aims of boosting biodiversity in Singapore waters.
It's evening time now, and we don't normally come here at night, but tonight we are here to document a very special event. It's called a synchronous mass coral spawning. No eggs. Below the surface, below the few meters where you can see, there is a thriving marine life.
Under ultraviolet light, corals glow in the dark. This display of fluorescence is a gauge of coral health. On a single night, each year, corals on the reef synchronize the release of eggs and sperm. The resulting coral larvae do not move far from these waters.
The fact that corals at Sisters Island spawn, it basically means that there's a good opportunity for these larvae to reach other parts of Singapore. So I think it's a very positive sign.
For thrill seekers like Nicholas Tan, the upcoming marine park presents a new avenue to appreciate nature's wonders.
I have recently just graduated from school and I'm waiting for enlistment for my national service. I am a big fan of outdoors and adventure. Guided intertidal walk is something that I've never been on. I'm definitely going to try my best to persuade at least a friend to come along.
You're finally here. Come, I have something to show you.
Where's this place?
This place, it's one of the southern island of Singapore and it's called Sisters Island. At Sisters Island, we have the whole island to ourselves. We could actually go for a guided walk and after that we could explore the island on our own. So maybe if that convinces you, we'll be able to convince the rest of our friends.
Be fun, right?
Yes, the intertidal walk is going to be fun, don't worry.
I think I will go for it.
Thank you.
In anticipation of its first visitors, Karen and her team get their feet wet to ensure that the marine park will not disappoint.
And you lay the tape to there. Okay. All right, I think that's okay. To manage an area, you need to know what's there. The intertidal survey is one of the many surveys we are doing within the Sisters Island Marine Park. So by conducting the surveys, we get an idea of the biodiversity that's present within the area, as well as the condition of the habitat. Order number is 5510. This is the green algae. Can you check if that's a sponge, the green?
Yeah, this is a sponge.
So
the green
sponge, another maybe about 2% of sponge.
Sometimes surveys throw up intriguing surprises.
In 2011, we found a sponge and we were not familiar what it was.
If their suspicions are correct, a species thought to be extinct for over a century could be back from the dead. Karen Toon is spearheading the mission to create Singapore's first marine park at Sisters Islands. This morning, she's returning to a secret location of a groundbreaking discovery.
I'll go look for them. In 2011, we found a sponge and we were not familiar what it was. We realized that it was a species that was thought to be extinct for over a century.
The Neptune's Cup sponge was first recorded in Singapore in 1821, 2 years after the British established a port on the island.
Late last year, another individual was found. These are the only 2 live specimens that are known to science. We're trying to keep this location confidential until we find a permanent location for these sponges.
The marine park will be the perfect refuge to bring the sponges back from the brink. Meanwhile, another species is starting to make its presence felt.
Whoa, they're getting heavy.
Nyo Mei Lin, a marine biologist, is working to reintroduce a giant clam species called Tridacna gigas back into Singapore waters. And she gives these clams the VIP treatment.
So as you can see, those white little cone shape, you can see some of them on the surface already.
There, see.
We hand remove the parasitic snails by using small brushes and picks as well.
Give that clam a good scrub.
Thanks for the rain shower. Now that we've cleaned the clam, we should actually start to patch up these holes with epoxy and sealing up these crevices where these snails are usually found.
With the clam survival in the wild at stake, Mei Lin has pioneered a novel technique, applying marine epoxy to keep them free of parasites. This might just tip the scales back in the clam's favor.
How the clams doing? Great. A little bit hot, but still great. Yeah. Today, we're going to transplant the Tridacna gigas onto Sisters Island Marine Park. We have chosen 6 different individuals to transplant as part of a pilot trial, and we'll continue monitoring them over the next few months. We actually have not seen them at least for the past 5 decades in Singapore. There is a very symbolic significance in reintroducing these individuals to Singapore waters, but also to our first marine park.
It's quite big, huh? It's about... Oh, nice. This is the typical clam. How do you feel?
We've actually been monitoring this batch for the last 1.5 months on a weekly basis.
Oh, very nice. Little babies.
Yeah.
Little clams. Not little anymore. Mommy is letting them go.
For Mei Lin, 5 months of hard work has culminated in this: the reintroduction of a species back to its natural home. These 6 clams could pave the way for other marine life to make a comeback in Singapore waters.
They look quite happy.
Yeah, babies are
Finally out in school.
With the clams safely within the marine park, the team evaluates a new feature for scuba divers on a test run with their colleagues.
So thanks again for coming to join us for this dive trip. It has more of sea fans and soft corals. So these are the things that you may want to take pictures. So please let us know if the trail is really unsuitable for the inexperienced divers.
As its reefs are exposed to the open ocean, diving conditions at Sisters Islands can be unpredictable. Dive trails, demarcated on the reefs, have been installed to help scuba divers navigate and hopefully spot some marine life.
Slam dunk. So how was the dive?
We saw the sweet lips.
Oh, you saw the sweet lips at the pinnacle?
Yeah.
That's cool.
A couple of sea urchins,
Oh, okay.
Dilema, yeah. I think two.
Because sea urchin are quite an important indicator on the reef because they eat up all your algae, so they're very effective grazers. I know divers don't like them,
Yeah,
but,
I avoid it.
but from a reef point of view, it's actually important to have sea urchins.
12 months after the birth of the marine park was announced, the public finally has a chance at a sneak preview.
People have been gathering here since 6+ in the morning, before dawn. For us, it is our first time to introduce the Sisters Island Marine Park to the public, to show them the amazing marine biodiversity that exists within our waters.
So what do you think we'll see there?
What I guess is we might be seeing crabs, definitely I guess, starfish, and maybe
Sharks.
No, there's definitely no sharks there.
Okay, so today what we're going to do is we're going to visit the intertidal area within the Big Sister Lagoon. If anyone sees anything, you see a nudibranch or you see something interesting, point it out. I'll come and take a look, make sure it's safe, you know, and then show it to everyone else. All right? Yeah? Sometimes if you overturn a rock, you will see different animals living inside there. So we've got researchers out there who are growing up the clams from really, a baby clam is just a miniature of a giant, of the adult. It's so tiny. You can actually see the shadows of the sea stars. So these are your common sea stars in the sandy area. You'll find this in Che Jawa and a few other areas. They move by these little structures below called a tube feet. So what you're seeing here is a blue-spotted stingray. So there's moisture in the sand, so it's probably going to stay in there until the tide comes in. Then it will start to dig itself out. Now this one here. Now this is a natural sponge. You can see the holes on it. It's still alive. It's still alive, yeah.
For many city dwellers, the preview has been an insight into the richness of Singapore's natural heritage. But this is barely scratching the surface. A national treasure lies hidden beneath Singapore's waters.
No, it is behind us.
But bringing it to the marine park could prove dangerous.
Is it correct?
I don't know. So in case we get lost, we just head back to shore. Yeah.
Lost to civilization for more than a century, it is finally time to bring back the Neptune's Cup sponge
I think we are 32 meters away, supposedly, according to...
and into the sanctity of the marine park.
I'm going in now to mark the site.
But first, they need to find it.
No, it is behind us.
Huh?
It's not the boat, this is the position of the GPS. So when you turn the GPS, it turns, the stick will turn. So it's behind us.
Circular search lah. We just search the parameter.
Is it correct?
I don't know.
Problem with the calibration of the GPS.
It's very hard to find the place if you don't go down close to the site. You better go to the buoy and go down the line. Or else cannot find the line.
Plunging through the murky depths, the precious sponge is located at last, and the team gets to work. Extracting sponges from the sea floor is very similar to digging up a tree on land. You go right for the roots. The Neptune's Cup sponge is given some protection against the elements. Then it is carefully lifted up to the surface.
So you all need to go up, get the cup ready.
Yeah.
Keep it as moist as possible. As sisters, we'll be looking for something similar, around 10 to 12 meters, and we will relocate it there.
A short hop over to Sisters Islands, and immediately the sponge is lowered back into the ocean. It has been close to an hour since the sponge was uprooted. Delicately, the team replants the sponge on the seabed, rock by rock, one shovel of sand at a time. A quick inspection to check for any signs of stress. Karen gives the all clear. Mission accomplished.
There's a sense of fulfillment when we achieve something like what we did today. To be able to relocate an animal that we thought was, extinct before, and now it's here. So I think we're all very happy with that. I'm quite confident that, this fella is gonna do well.
But the future of Singapore's marine life lies not just in the hands of Karen and her team.
The physical environment does not judge. It is governed by the law of physics. But if you understand it, you can work with nature. You guys are young, you all grow up, you all get married. Do you want your kids to actually see what's here? And to allow that to happen, we need to know what's around. We need to be able to document it. So this is really important that you guys are here asking the questions and also appreciating what it is, so that hopefully down the line, you will also, do your effort to protect it so that your kids will have that opportunity as well.
Elon, the sea cucumber. It's like a really big sea cucumber. Yeah. Do you want to eat it?
Oh, crazy.
It's crawling, it's moving, it's moving.
Never seen a cucumber so huge. They're roughly about 13 inch.
Yeah, it's so nice.
Yeah.